Hola! Hello there, welcome to our Spanish lesson today. You're going to be needing some equipment to help you with your learning. You'll need some paper to write on and a pen or a pencil to write with. So if you don't have those things in front of you now, pop and get them and then press play when you're ready to continue. Today, we're going to be practicing saying that the I person or someone else speaks a certain language, and we're going to be finding out where different languages are spoken. Here's the languages that we've been using up to now. Let's just make sure we can remember what these mean. So first of all, Inglés. Inglés. Which language is that? That's right, that's English. And Español, easy one there. Spanish. How about Francés? Right, that one is French. What about Gallés? Gallés. Welsh and Alemán. That's right, Alemán is German. And the last one, Chino. That's right, that one is Chinese. Let's have a practice of those. Por favor, escuchad y repetid. Inglés, inglés. Español, español. Francés, francés. Galés, galés. Alemán, alemán. Chino, chino. Inglés, inglés. Español, español. Francés, francés. Galés, galés. Alemán, alemán. Chino, chino. Now, do you remember last time we were looking at the infinitive hablar, which in English means to speak, and we were looking at how to change the infinitives in both languages so that we can say exactly which person is doing the speaking. We saw that in English we have to change the to in the infinitive to either I, you, he, or she. Also, when it comes to he and she, we have to add an S onto speak to make it speaks. In Spanish, though, we make different changes. Remember that hablar ends in AR, that's what makes it the infinitive. It also means that it's in the AR group of verbs, so it's going to have a certain group of endings. The first thing we do, having noted that it's an AR verb, is we cross the AR off. We're left with the stem, which in this case is able, and then we put different endings back on to relate to the person that we're talking about. So if we want to say I speak, we get our stem able and we put o on the end. So I speak, hablo. If it's you speak, then we get our stem able and we put as on the end, hablas. And finally, for he or she, we get our stem able, and this time we put a on the end, habla. Hablo, hablas, habla. I speak, you speak, he and she speaks. And remember, we don't need to have in Spanish the word for I, the word for you, or the word for he, or the word for she, because the three endings are completely different and they're frankly unnecessary. In English, though, we do need to have the pronouns I speak, you speak, because if we just had speak, we wouldn't know necessarily who was doing it. So to help you with the next activity, I'd like you just to pause the video and write down this information on your piece of paper and then press play again when you're ready to continue. Okay, let's use this information to help us with some other verbs because there are lots and lots and lots of AR verbs and they all follow the same pattern. So if you know how to say I speak, you speak, he speaks, and she speaks, you also know how to say I dance, you dance, he dances, and she dances because we go through the same procedure. So first of all, to dance is bailar, ends in AR. So what's the first thing we need to do? That's right, we cross off the AR, we don't need it anymore. It just shows us which endings to put on. We're left with the stem, bail, and what ending do we need to put on if it's I? That's right, we put on an O, so I dance is bailo. How about you dance? What do we need to put on the bail for that one? That's right, bailas. And then the third one, he or she dances, which ending do we need? That's it, baila. So we've used exactly the same procedure. It's just our stem, isn't it, that's different. And in English, it's the verb word itself, the dance, that is different. Here's another one. Pause the video and have a go at working out the three parts of cantar, which is to sing. Press play again when you're ready to check. So do you think you've worked out the three forms of this verb? Let's see what happens. Cross off the AR and we get canto, cantas, canta. Did you get those right? Did you follow the same procedure? Let's try one more. So llegar is the verb to arrive. Pause the video, see if you can work out the three parts of this verb, and then press play again when you're ready to check it. You think you've worked them out? So cross off the AR, the stem is yeg this time. So we get llego, llegas, llega. Did you get those right? Fantastic. And we can do this with lots and lots and lots of verbs because lots of verbs in Spanish are AR verbs. The ER and the IR groups are much, much smaller. Now, talking about our AR verb, hablar, and hablo, hablas, habla, I speak, you speak, he and she speaks. We've got here three people talking about different languages. They may be talking about the ones that they speak, but also talking about the ones that other people speak as well. What I would like you to do is to pause the video, have a read of the three texts, and see if you can answer these 6 questions true or false. So pause the video now and have a go at answering those questions. Press play again when you're ready to check. Okay, let's have a look then and see what the answers are. So, firstly, number 1, Anna speaks German. Is that true or false? Let's see. That one is true because she says hablo inglés y alemán. And of course, alemán is German. Question number 2, Marisa and Iker speak French. Is that true or false? That one is false, isn't it? Because Iker says hablo inglés y francés, but Marisa doesn't say that she speaks French. She says that her father speaks French because it says habla alemán y francés, so it's not herself. Question 3, Iker speaks Portuguese. Is that true or false? One also is false because he says mi amigo habla galés y portugués. So habla is not talking about himself, is it? It's a he or a she. In this case, it's his friend. My friend speaks Welsh and Portuguese. Question 4, Iker speaks Spanish. Is that true or false? Yes, that one is true. He says, hablo castellano. Remember, we found out last time that castellano is another way of saying Spanish when you're in Spain. Then, question number 5, Anna speaks French. Is that true or false? That's false, isn't it? Because she says, no hablo francés. I don't speak French. And finally, number 6, Marisa speaks English. Is that true or false? That one is true. She says, también hablo inglés. I also speak English. How did you get on? Did you find the necessary information? And of course, did you spot the difference between hablo and habla? Very good. So we know that habla means he speaks or she speaks, and quite often we're looking for a name, aren't we, or some person word in front of that so that we know exactly who the he or the she is. Now, if we put the word se in front of habla, we're making it into an impersonal expression. It's not he or she, it's this one person that you might have encountered in sort of old English. One does this, one does that. So se habla means one speaks, or it can mean a passive voice as well. So is spoken. This question then, ¿Dónde se habla español? Means where is Spanish spoken, or where does one speak Spanish? But where is Spanish spoken sounds neater to us as English speakers. With that in mind, then, here are 4 speech bubbles asking about 4 different languages. ¿Dónde se habla español? ¿Dónde se habla inglés? ¿Dónde se habla francés? ¿Dónde se habla alemán? Let's just make sure we can remember which 4 languages we're being asked about. So the first question, ¿Dónde se habla español? Which language is that one? That's right. Where is Spanish spoken? The second one, ¿Dónde se habla inglés? That's right. Where is English spoken? The third one, ¿Dónde se habla francés? Where is French spoken? And the fourth one, ¿Dónde se habla alemán? That's right. Where is German spoken? Now, underneath, you have 16 different countries. What I would like you to do is to pause the video and see if you can work out which country goes with which language. And I will tell you there are 4 for each. So pause the video now, see if you can match up the countries and the languages, and then press play when you're ready to check them. Right, let's have a look at the answers then. We're going to start with Español. So the 4 countries that you needed for Español were España, Argentina, Chile, and Mexico. I hope that you remembered those from reading the poem about Spanish-speaking countries last time. Then the next one we needed 4 for ¿Dónde se habla inglés? So we needed Australia, Inglaterra, and Inglaterra, of course, is England. Nueva Zelanda. Which country do you think Nueva Zelanda is? That's right, New Zealand. And finally, Estados Unidos. Where is Estados Unidos? That's right, that's the United States. Then the next one, ¿Dónde se habla francés? We had Francia, which is France, of course, Canada, Bélgica, and Bélgica is Belgium, y Burkina Faso. And Burkina Faso is a country in Africa. There are quite a lot of countries in the north half of Africa where French is spoken. And then finally, ¿Dónde se habla alemán? Alemania, that's Germany, of course. Austria, Suiza, and Suiza is Switzerland, y Luxemburgo, Luxembourg. Now, there are a couple that you could have had elsewhere. So you could also have put Canada into the English section because in Canada they speak both English and French. And you could also have put Suiza and Luxemburgo into the French section because in Switzerland they speak French, Italian, German, and Romanish. And in Luxembourg also they speak French, German, and other languages like Luxembourgish. So, muy bien, we've worked very hard today, been finding out about how to say that we speak different languages and finding out where different languages are spoken as well. Adios. See you next time.